Good morning, America. Flash freeze. The season's first cold snap ready to bite. Temperatures nosediving, the coldest air of the season. The freeze watches and warnings from this Arctic blast.
Frustrated flyers, misery on the map for air travelers feeling the effects of the government shutdown.
It's not been a good day.
More than 5,000 flights delayed or canceled, and it stands to get worse this week. What it could mean for the upcoming Thanksgiving travel crush.
Immigration battle. The Trump administration loses a court fight in Portland, Oregon, as protesters and federal officers clash in Chicago, and a detained daycare worker becomes the focus of national attention.
Fast food slowdown.
Where's the beef?
Wendy's announcing plans to close hundreds of locations as Americans tighten their financial belts. Other chains also feeling the pinch. What will it take to win back customers?
Mid-season matchups. The NFL teams going head-to-head, hoping to gain ground in the second half. ESPN's Herm Edwards joins us with his picks on today's must-see game.
And rock and roll royalty. Some of the biggest names in music honored overnight. And inducted into the Hall of Fame. All the highlights from the star-studded performances.
Live from ABC News headquarters in New York City, it's Sunday. Good morning, America.
Good morning, America. Happy Sunday to you. Glad to be back with you guys. After a little bit of flight
travel
trouble. Oh, boy. A lot of
Got you
Americans
back.
feeling that. Yes. We do have a lot of news ahead this morning, including how restaurants are feeling the squeeze as customers pinch pennies to try to save money.
And we're going to talk about those flight troubles. We're going to go live to one of the nation's busiest airports as the government shutdown heads into week 6. More than 1,000 flights already canceled today with hundreds of delays. And we're going to look at what this could mean for your holiday travel. A lot of people talking about that.
Absolutely. But we do begin here with the deep freeze. Temperatures expected to plunge overnight across the eastern half of the country. Samara Theodore is here with the latest on this. Is really the first taste of wintry weather. Samara, good morning.
Good morning. That's right, Whit. Fall officially has left the building. Take a look at Chicago. This is earlier this morning. Right now, they are under a winter storm warning. Midway Airport already reporting some snow falling where they could see up to 6 inches. We'll talk more about that in a moment. For now, let's talk numbers. We're faring 10 to 20 degrees cooler than normal for a large section of the country. From Bismarck in the 20s this afternoon, Oklahoma City to 48. Tomorrow, the cold air really expanding farther east, 34 degrees for a high in Cincinnati. You can see the 3-day low temperature forecast. You're waking up to temperatures in the 20s in places like Montgomery, Alabama, 30 in Mobile. But check this out. You factor in the wind, whew, it's really going to bite. Indianapolis feeling like 19 degrees. Our nation's capital feeling like the low 20s. Janae?
All right, that's exactly what Whit loves to hear,
Yeah,
Samara.
right.
Thank you. Now to another day, though, of air travel chaos across the U.S., largely due to the government shutdown, with more than 1,000 flights canceled and hundreds others delayed. ABC's Faith Abube is at Hartsfield-Jackson Airport in Atlanta, one of the busiest in the country. Good morning to you, Faith.
Yeah, good morning to you, Janae. Millions of travelers are bracing for what could be another messy travel day here across the country. Here, specifically in Atlanta, over the last 24 hours, the FAA issuing a ground stop and forcing hundreds of inbound flights to wait at their departure airports for up to 5 hours, causing a domino effect.
This morning, a coast-to-coast air travel meltdown worsening as the FAA struggles to staff critical air traffic control facilities amid a historic government shutdown.
It's tough right now to travel.
ATC and TSA staffing issues causing long lines and increasingly raising concern about safety in the skies. Airlines forced to cancel nearly 1,500 flights and delay more than 5,000 flights Saturday alone, leaving passengers scrambling across the country.
They said they could get us to Atlanta, and then that fell through. In the meantime, I had booked a hotel in Atlanta to stay. It's not been a good day.
Staffing-related ground stops also issued at airports in Tennessee, Texas, New York, and North Carolina. Flights to San Francisco and JFK held for at least 2 hours, while passengers flying to Newark were stuck waiting at their departure airports for up to 4 hours. Flights to Atlanta delayed up to 5.5 hours. Travelers growing weary.
I ended up getting rerouted on my way to Brazil, so I flew from Dallas all the way up to Chicago with a 17-hour layover.
This weekend, airlines were operating 4% fewer flights at 40 major U.S. airports after the FAA issued a mandate Friday. The U.S. Transportation Secretary warning that the travel turmoil could get dire. Flight reductions could ramp up to 10% over the next several days if the government shutdown continues. Delta slashing 170 flights daily. United under 200, and American cutting around 220 flights per day. Our Melissa Adan in Los Angeles.
The drastic flight cuts were made to relieve pressure on the system as more TSA agents and air traffic controllers are calling out sick and working without pay due to the shutdown.
And as the stalemate in Washington shows no end in sight, passengers increasingly frustrated.
I'm angry that the governments, the president and the Congress and the Senate can't get together and just settle this thing and stop affecting regular people.
And if there is a silver lining, Gio, it is that some of these airlines are allowing passengers to cancel their tickets without penalty, meaning if your travel plans are flexible, you can postpone your trip. But of course, not everyone has that luxury, and anxiety is going up. Gio.
That's right, a silver lining, Faith, but very, very frustrating. Thank you so much. Let's keep talking about this now with former TSA Chief John Pistol joining us now. John, thank you so much for joining us. 1,000 flights canceled today, 1,000 flights canceled yesterday, 4,000 delayed on Saturday. So are the FAA flight limits a good thing?
Well, it's all a matter of context, right? So if you're a traveler, you obviously don't think so. But from a safety and security perspective, I would say yes. It's clearly inconvenient, it is disruptive, but I think it's prudent in order to provide for the best possible safety and security for the traveling public. Look, with over 2 million people traveling a day, that may seem like a lot, but this is actually the calm before the storm, as your lead-in stories have talked about the Thanksgiving holidays, when there's almost 3 million people traveling over that 10 to 11-day period. So it is a challenging time, and it's something that I think everybody needs to be mindful of in terms of making alternate plans if that is a possibility for them.
Well, John, let's talk about those holidays because, as you said, the holiday travel rush just a couple of weeks away. If it's this bad now, what could it be like then?
Oh, it would be much worse. Again, if you're increasing by 50%, 2 million to 3 million passengers a day, many of whom don't travel frequently, so they're the infrequent travelers who may not be as attuned to what TSA protocols and practices are, requirements. And so that's going to slow lines down, the TSA checkpoints, and then with flights canceled or delayed, as you've mentioned, it just makes for a possible chaotic time, which nobody wants. And look, this is a political thing. The TSA officers, the air traffic controllers, haven't been paid for nearly 6 weeks. And so they're in such a challenging time. The one piece of advice or recommendation I would, if I could, for travelers, if you are traveling and you get to a TSA checkpoint, if you could just say thank you to the TSOs, the Transportation Security Officers, for the job they're doing, because it is a tough job to start with. And if you're not getting paid, and many of these folks are young employees who maybe a first-time job, they have to take care of child care. They may have to take care of transportation costs themselves, food on the table, things like that. So just an attitude of gratitude goes a long way.
Absolutely, John. I am so glad you mentioned that because, again, 6 weeks without pay, it's hard to wrap your head around that. John Pistol, former TSA chief, we so appreciate you joining us on this Sunday morning. Thank you.
Thanks, Gio.
And Gio, as you noted, much of this travel chaos caused by the government shutdown as congressional Democrats and Republicans remain locked in a stalemate. ABC News senior White House correspondent Selena Wang is in Washington. So, Selena, what's the latest on any possible negotiations?
So Whit, the good sign here is that senators are actually working through the weekend, and Whit, that is a first since the shutdown began, but there's still no real sign of any breakthrough here. Now, back on Friday, Democrats had put a new offer on the table. They said, we'll reopen the government if Republicans agree to extend Obamacare subsidies for a year. The goal is to keep premiums from spiking for millions of Americans. But Republicans say that's a non-starter, saying no talks on health care until Democrats reopen the government first. But meanwhile, 42 million Americans who rely on SNAP food benefits, they're caught in the middle. A federal court had ordered the Trump administration to pay those benefits, but the Trump administration appealed. And Supreme Court Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson is now allowing the administration to pause those payments for now as this legal battle plays out. But with the bottom line is this: the stalemate in Washington is already hitting families hard, and it is only getting worse.
It really is. And Selena, what have we heard from President Trump on possible solutions and his demand to end the filibuster?
Yeah, so big picture here, President Trump's actually been noticeably absent. He's down in Mar-a-Lago this weekend, even though he's the one who asked senators to stay here and get a deal done. You mentioned solutions. The president's focus has been getting Republicans to end the filibuster. Right now, 60 votes are needed to pass legislation. Ending it would allow Republicans to push through a bill to reopen the government with just a simple majority. But even close Trump allies are saying no, warning that if Democrats take back power, they would then be able to pass everything on their wish list with that change.
And Selena, do we have any sense of how much longer this shutdown could last?
I mean, honestly, that is the million-dollar question. We are now on day 40. Neither side is budging. But behind the scenes, I will say, lawmakers admit they've got to find a way out or the fallout's going to get even more devastating. And some lawmakers are saying that the real pressure point could come closer to Thanksgiving. We've been talking about those flight delays, that travel chaos. That could be what finally forces lawmakers to do something and compromise.
Let's hope. Selena weighing for us. We appreciate it. And tune into This Week later on. George Stephanopoulos has exclusive interviews with Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent and Democratic Senator Adam Schiff about the latest negotiations to end the government shutdown. Janae?
All right. The Trump administration's immigration crackdown, though, continuing during the shutdown. Two major developments to report this morning. One dealing with deploying the National Guard in Oregon. ABC's Alex Stone joins us with the details. Good morning, Alex.
Janae, good morning. A federal judge ruling President Trump permanently cannot send troops into Oregon for current immigration protests. The judge ruling the president exceeded his authority and did not act lawfully.
When federal immigration agents surged into Portland in September, the president said efforts there were needed to clean up the city.
There's a huge problem in Portland. I'll tell you what the problem is: crime.
But local leaders, including the city's police chief, said that was not true. That yes, there had been some protests, at times violent, but they were relatively small and could be handled by local and federal law enforcement.
It's just been terrible to see what ICE is doing to our communities. We're scared for our neighbors. We're scared for our friends.
On Friday, Trump appointed federal judge Karen Immergut, issuing a permanent injunction blocking troop deployment by the president into Portland. The ruling finding the president did not have a lawful basis to federalize the National Guard. The judge saying the federal government exaggerated claims of violence in the city and that there is no rebellion in Portland. The Department of Homeland Security responding, saying the president is using his lawful authority to direct the National Guard to protect federal assets and personnel in Portland. This weekend in Chicago, federal agents again clashing with protesters. Agents say during an operation in the Little Village neighborhood of Chicago, multiple gunshots were fired by somebody directly at the federal agents. Nobody was hit. The shooter got away. The president's efforts to deploy troops in Chicago also currently blocked by the courts. In Chicago, a federal judge also temporarily barring the Trump administration from deporting Diana Galliano, a daycare worker arrested by federal agents last week as parents were dropping off their children. The Department of Homeland Security accusing her of paying a smuggler to bring her own kids into the country. Her attorneys saying she has a valid work permit.
They didn't just walk in chasing one person. They went into multiple rooms asking and looking for teachers.
And guys, in Chicago, the federal government is appealing to the U.S. Supreme Court to be allowed to send in troops. And in Portland, it can ask the Ninth Circuit to overrule that Trump-appointed judge.
Gio.
All right, Alex, thank you so much for your reporting there. Now we turn to the UPS plane crash in Kentucky. The FAA grounding the type of plane that was involved, and ABC's Olivia Rubin has more on this. Olivia, good morning.
Good morning. As you know, this is a major decision from the FAA after that cargo plane crash in Kentucky where the engine seemingly fell right off the wing. The FAA now saying none of those specific planes should be in the sky, grounding them until they all can be inspected and fixed if needed. The agency saying here that that same unsafe condition is likely to exist or develop in other planes of that same model. Now, we're talking here about the MD-11 owned by Boeing, which also recommended the planes don't fly. Now, in total, there are about 70 of these planes in service, Boeing says, and UPS and FedEx are two carriers who use them. Altogether, the MD-11's making up about 9% of UPS's fleet and 4% of FedEx's. So what could this mean for your packages? Well, both companies say they have implemented contingency plans here to try and minimize disruptions. But remember, this all comes as investigators are frantically trying to determine the cause of that fiery crash. The death toll now up to 14, Whit.
Wow, just awful. And we're seeing the ripple effect now.
Yeah,
all right,
certainly.
Olivia, thank you. Appreciate it. All right, now to a new sign of economic trouble with some chain and fast food restaurants struggling. ABC's Andrew Dimbert is here with more on that. Andrew, good morning.
Good morning, Whit. You know, some of the most recognizable brands and chains are feeling the squeeze. It's perhaps a broader economic snapshot with customers, especially younger ones, making tougher choices about where they spend their money.
It certainly is a big bun.
Wendy's is slimming down.
Where's the beef?
Announcing plans to close hundreds of locations through next year as Americans tighten the belt financially.
Take Burger King, Lord, not Wendy's, not Wendy's.
It's the latest sign of a dining dip across casual and fast food chains. Chipotle says 100K or less earners and Gen Z diners are eating out less. The CEO telling investors on the company's earnings call this group is facing several headwinds, including unemployment, increased student loan repayment, and slower real wage growth. From burgers and burritos to a salad slowdown, Sweetgreen is also warning about a younger customer pullback.
You're seeing some pressure. We've heard it from Chipotle recently, from Sweetgreen, and from some others that really serve that Gen Z customer, and seeing a little bit of a drop-off in sales.
Many known brands are now aiming to win back cost-conscious diners, with Applebee's owner Dine Brands Global and McDonald's pushing to focus on value.
McDonald's is putting value back on the menu.
McDonald's same-store sales were up in the last quarter despite an industry-wide crunch, driven largely by extra value meals and
it's like striking chicken gold.
The return of the snack wrap. Bloomin' Brands, operator of Outback Steakhouse, Carrabba's, and Bonefish Grill, says it's going back to basics, investing $75 million in part to simplify menus and remodel some restaurants. Analysts say if consumers continue to ditch dining out, expect more menu changes, promos, and possibly more store closures.
All right, so with these trends, value deals are the new battleground for big brands. And while customers may be trading convenience to save on costs, it's clear Americans are still hungry, Janae, for savings.
Absolutely trying to save a buck any way we can, Andrew. Thank you, and we love that pun, but also trying to save money. Now to the cost of heat and advice on how you can save as much of the country faces the season's first cold snap. ABC's Morgan Norwood joins us with those details. Good morning to you, Morgan.
Hey, good morning to you, Janae. You know how I feel about the cold. Absolutely hate it. But of course, we've got that cold snap on the way for parts of the country, which means heating costs are up as well. Energy services are up 6.4% compared to this time last year, according to the Consumer Price Index. But there are some smart ways to save. The Department of Energy recommends to first seal up those air leaks. You want to check around pipes, plumbing, and behind cupboards, or add caulk or weather stripping around the doors or windows to keep that warm air in. Next, you want to keep your heating system in shape. Schedule regular service, change those filters monthly, which I'm really bad about, and clean your heaters to keep them running efficiently. Another tip, lower your water heater to about 120 degrees to cut cost without sacrificing comfort. And of course, we know the holidays are coming up too. Switch to LED holiday lights. They are festive and also energy efficient, Gio.
Oh, they sure are. All right. Thank you so much.
I got the LEDs.
You got the LEDs?
Oh, ask him about the Kelvins.
You want to get me going on the holiday lights, Kelvins?
You don't have the lights up yet.
Not yet, but it's just a matter of days.
All right.
The boxes are down. Let's put it that way.
There you go.
Let's turn now to women's soccer and the quarterfinal matches this weekend in the National Women's Soccer League playoffs. ABC's Christian Cordero is here with all the details. Good morning, Christian.
Hey there, Whit. Good morning. If Saturday's matchup was any indication of what to expect, we are in for a ride. This weekend, the number 2 seed Washington Spirit hosted Racing Louisville in a penalty shootout thriller. Louisville held off the home team for 72 minutes until this incredible header by Nigerian striker Gift Monday. And what a gift that was for fans who packed Audi Field here in the nation's capital. But with just seconds left in the match, Louisville's Kayla Fisher levels the score to say, we ain't done yet. The gut check, that is double overtime, proved fruitless for both sides, so off to PKs we went, and that is where we see DC's veteran goalkeeper Aubrey Kingsbury come up big twice to seal the deal. Washington Spirit head to the semis where they will face the winner of the Portland Thorns and the San Diego Wave. Portland has U.S. women's national team standouts Sam Coffey and Olivia Moultrie, while the Wave, you could say, have that je ne sais quoi with 2 French national team stars. Also today, top-seeded Kansas City Current, who have been described as possibly the best team to ever exist in this league. They play Gotham FC, stacked with talent and led by none other than Rose Lavelle. Winner there plays defending champs Orlando Pride. Current versus Gotham kicks off at 12:30 p.m. Eastern today on ABC, followed by Thorns versus Wave at 3 Eastern. Guys.
Excellent. And speaking of stars, a lot of our viewers don't know this. You played college soccer as well, Christian.
Yep. You and me both, Whit. Those were the days, weren't they?
That's right, the glory days. Christiana,
Exactly.
thanks so much. Appreciate it. All right, still ahead here on GMA. A nationwide baby product recall is raising alarm after a serious illness linked to infant feeding. What parents need to know.
Very important. Plus, NFL Week 10 heats up. Patriots are on fire with 6 straight wins. ESPN's Herm Edwards breaks down the matchups you don't want to miss.
And rock royalty, unforgettable performances, and surprise moments inside the Hall of Fame's biggest night. Stick around. And welcome back to GMA. The Jonas Brothers in the holiday spirit by swinging by GMA tomorrow. The trio is taking a quick break from their busy tour to tell us all about their latest project, a very Jonas Christmas movie. Can't wait for that. You can catch the movie this Friday on Disney+.
I can't believe your Christmas tree is going up already.
Today.
I thought I got an early start.
Why not? We want 2 months of celebrating.
There you go. Go for
Fair
it.
enough.
I'm in. All right, let's take a look at some of the other top stories that we're following on this Sunday morning here. A tragedy in Tennessee. 1 crew member was killed, 2 others injured when a medical helicopter crashed just outside Nashville. Investigators say the life flight chopper had no patients on board. The NTSB is working to pinpoint exactly what caused the crash.
Right now, more than 1 million people evacuating the Philippines as the nation braces for a super typhoon set to make landfall. The powerful storm is bringing sustained winds of 130 miles per hour and is already battering the northeastern coast. The typhoon closing in days after another typhoon devastated the nation, killing more than 200 people.
Oh, my goodness. And an urgent baby formula recall due to an outbreak of infant botulism. The FDA is urging parents to throw away certain containers of By Heart Whole Nutrition infant formula. The labels have a use-by date of December 1st, so look for that. Health officials say 13 infants in 10 states were hospitalized after consuming the formula.
And in college football, a wild catch keeps Indiana alive with just seconds to spare. Watch this closely. Indiana down in the 4th when Omar Cooper Jr. made this incredible toe-tapping catch. He gets one toe, the other one narrowly sweeping his foot into the back of the end zone. Touchdown gave Indiana the win over Penn State and saved Indiana's undefeated season.
Coach Herm Edwards was leaning over
he was
in his
admiring.
camera to catch that shot, nodding his head.
Double toe
We
tap.
start this half hour with a look at the full slate of NFL games today. The season now in the second half. ESPN football analyst, former head coach, and our guy Herm Edwards is back with a look at today's matchup. Herm, you think he maybe didn't quite make it? What was that?
Well, in pro football, he's out. You got to get both feet in.
Okay,
All right.
we're going to take it
College
a little
football, you
easier
only need one.
on the
You only
college
need one.
kids, yes.
He's got a year to get it right.
Exactly. All right, so to the NFL, the Tampa Bay Bucks, they're taking on the red-hot New England Patriots, winners of their last 6 games. So, Coach, does Tampa have their hands full or what?
Yeah, they do. These pesky Patriots, all of a sudden, they've kind of found their way. When you think about it, they're 9th ranked in defense, and they're only giving up 18 points. And that says a lot in the National Football League. And what they'll try to do to Baker Mayfield, they won't allow him to play off schedule. What I mean by that is when he drops back, you got to keep him in the pocket. You got to, what we call, put him in a cage. Don't allow him to leave the pocket. Make him throw from the pocket. Look, he's missing 2 of his receivers as well. And right now, I tell you what, the Patriots, I call them the pesky Patriots, they're playing well. Got a young quarterback. If he doesn't turn the ball over, they got a good chance to win.
All right, let's talk about the game that you know I'm going to be watching this weekend, the NFC matchup between the Rams and my Niners. Both these teams doing pretty well. They've had some injuries. What are you thinking on this one?
Yeah, well, the Niners beat the Rams, as you know, earlier. Matthew Stafford is playing at a high level right now. He gets Puka back, obviously, but this is the guy right now. If you're the Rams, the only way you win this game, you have to stop number 23. If you can't stop him, you're not going to win, period. But I think this is going to be a really good ball game. The Rams need this win. They cannot lose to the 49ers twice. If they do that, they have no shot of winning this division. And the Rams are a hot team. That guy right there, that Matthew Stafford fella, he's playing really, really well. This is going to be a fun game to watch.
Oh, yeah, it's going to be fun for Whit, that's for sure. All right, let's talk about the Steelers-Chargers game. Coach, is Aaron Rodgers moving the Steelers in the right direction? What can we expect?
Well, Aaron Rodgers is playing okay, but did you watch the Steelers play last week? This looked like the Pittsburgh Steelers defense of old. They sacked the quarterback 5 times, hit him 9 times, took the ball away 5 more times. So if the Steelers play like this, it's a wrap. They win the division. They win the AFC North. It won't even be close. Can they compete? Can they really complete the same performance they did defensively like they did last week? Because this Steelers defense was outstanding. If they can do that, look out.
All right, look out. Now let's look out and check in with who's with Herb.
Yeah, let's look at that.
Whit had the chance.
I'd rather not.
To make some progress.
Yeah.
All right, Coach, I see you got something you want to say.
Yeah, I got to say this. As we discussed last week, I picked the Cowboys. And I told you, when I picked the Cowboys, I said, you know, I really don't like the Cowboys. I shouldn't do this being legal. They let me down. Yeah. They let me down again.
And then you let us
That's why I don't pick the Cowboys.
We all followed you.
We all put our faith in Herm and the Cowboys.
It's all good. I'm still on top.
You know what? You wouldn't even believe that Whit won last year. The tally stands. Gio's got 6. I've got 5 because we are winners. Herb has 4 because he's not too bad, and Whit has 2.
Yeah.
So we're going to try this again. Monday, the Eagles play the Packers. I think I know who you're picking, Coach. Who you got?
Don't even ask. You don't got to ask. You know who I'm picking.
Okay, he's got the Eagles.
Right
there
here.
it is.
Right here.
Fly, Eagles, fly. Gio?
You know, they're doing pretty good. Let's go with the Eagles.
You are an expert now, my friend.
Yeah? What are you doing?
What are you doing?
Go Pack, go!
Oh, you just,
I'm going
you just want to lose
I'm going
now.
for the Packers.
I
think they can do it.
You really think so?
Yep, let's go Pack.
Contrarian.
I need
What,
to.
are you telling the Eagles that don't show up or something?
Yeah, maybe.
Thank
They're
you
not
so
going
much,
to cancel the
Coach.
game. The Eagles actually are going to play the game. They're not canceling.
Listen, as Robin says, when you strut, you stumble, and you're stumbling with.
Oh, man. Okay.
You can catch the Eagles taking on the Packers Monday night at 8 right here on ABC. Coach, we appreciate you.
Robin does say that, doesn't she?
She sure does.
Man.
Yes.
Coming up on Good Morning America, rock and roll's biggest names honored overnight. The highlights from the Hall of Fame's induction ceremony for the class of 2025, and it was a show. Stay with us.
Oh, welcome back to GMA. And from the roots of rock to its legends, the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame has been honoring the biggest names in the biz for 40 years. And ABC's Will Gans has more on the musical artists inducted overnight. This was full of special moments.
Oh, it was so cool to see. Yeah. In 1983, Cyndi Lauper burst onto the scene with that now iconic declaration. And 43 years later, I'm starting to think she was being serious, you guys. Girls really do just want to have fun.
If musicians are superheroes, then the Avengers have officially assembled. Avril Lavigne, Ray, Salt and Peppa, and more teaming up to honor newly minted Hall of Famer Cyndi Lauper.
I grew up believing that rock and roll can save the world. I stand on the shoulders of all the women that came before me. My shoulders are wide enough for the younger ones to stand on.
We sit side by side.
An intergenerational concert for the ages.
Yes, I can tell that we are gonna be friends.
At the 2025 Rock and Roll Hall of Fame induction ceremony.
They're the most diverse group we've had in years. You've had from Joe Cocker to Outkast to Nicky Hopkins to Bad Company. It really shows the breadth of rock and roll.
Stevie Wonder, Jennifer Hudson, Questlove, and more, paying homage to Sly and the Family Stone. And a star-studded tribute to Outkast had everyone shaking it like a Polaroid picture. With En Vogue honoring Salt and Peppa. And the tempo slowing down for Elton John in a touching tribute to Brian Wilson.
God only knows what I'd be without you. I'm feeling all right.
The Rock and Roll Hall of Fame induction ceremony, one of very few collaborative shows that proves, well, proves I get by with a little help from my friends. Yeah, in case you missed the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame induction ceremony, it's streaming right now on Disney+. And get this, a primetime special featuring exclusive performances and big moments will air right here on ABC January 1st, 2026. Not a bad way to start the year. And it'll stream the next day on Hulu.
Awesome.
Really cool.
Speaking of friends, you guys are twinning today.
We are.
Yes, we are.
Looking strong.
I like that movie, Twins.
Now with our group chat and the stories that piqued our interest this week, I'll go first. And focusing on gratitude and community, a week after running the New York City Marathon.
You did it.
I did it.
Nailed it, by the way.
4 hours
Look at
and
these
26
pictures,
minutes.
too.
Look at that joy. It was so exciting. That was finishing the
Guns
Queensboro
out.
Bridge. I was
She was
feeling
flexing.
good. It left me
You've been working
in
on them
awe
biceps.
of what our bodies can do, how our brains lie to us about our limitations and our ability to push past that and, impress ourselves. And then the micro moments, connecting with the community, the crowd out there cheering you on, making eye contact with strangers.
That was
so
fueling you?
Pure, 100%.
Yeah.
It was so pure just seeing these people making these connections with strangers. And then the next day we celebrated 50 years of GMA. So my cup was so full because it was a reminder of how lucky we are to be a part of this storied franchise. I think we have a couple pictures here. Look at that with Robin, who's been so great to us.
Yeah.
She made sure to shout out on GMA the next morning that I did finish the
whole
marathon,
thing.
the whole
Yeah.
thing. Us with Ari, our incredible producer on the weekends, and just gratitude for the community that we've built for you guys, and that we get to wake up with you guys on the weekend. So it just, my heart is full.
And at the end of the day, if we're not running a race, we're all running a marathon of
in
life.
some way.
Yes, exactly.
Absolutely.
Together.
Absolutely.
All right, I'm shifting gears a little bit here. Congratulations on the marathon. But this story has been getting so much attention in the past couple weeks, and they were still talking about the brazen heist of the Louvre Museum here. And this week, we found out that at the time of the robbery, the password that the museum's video surveillance system was using is simply the word Louvre. The password to the Louvre was Louvre. And that's according to the museum.
Louvre 1, 2, 3.
No. This is according to an employee who had knowledge of the system. So I was thinking to myself, if that password is so simple, what about the rest of us, right?
Yeah.
Well, just in time, the company Comparitech just released its list of the most common passwords of 2025. Louvre didn't make the list.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then you just keep adding numbers. Admin was another one, and then of course my favorite, password. I guarantee everybody's had password at some point or another.
Can we at least add an exclamation point?
That's right. Yeah, exactly. So just a reminder, check your passwords, and if you can use a pass key, that's even better. But Just that story. I'm sorry. By the way, the jewels still missing.
Yeah, still missing. Have you seen this whole brouhaha or bear haha?
Bear haha.
At Starbucks. Check this out. So we got this bear mug. It's the barista cup, and it's sold out so fast.
It's really cute.
That now everybody's upset because they can't get one. And apparently you're going online, and now people are trying to sell it for $500. Some people think that some of the baristas have been hoarding them.
Oh, okay.
So there's like this whole thing going on. And those are accusations.
Oh my gosh.
But Starbucks did apologize, and they said, we're sorry we made a popular.
The baristas are adorable.
You know what I saw too? People online are taking like honey jars and then like putting fake Starbucks labels on it, and like trying to sell it.
Hey, that'll work.
Yeah, if you get it on the secondary market, might want to just check the quality there. And that is your group chat, everybody. Not a labubu, it's a lafufu. We'll be back after this.
Change your password.
So Gio has some special guests, and without warning, put them on TV.
Are you embarrassed?
Yes. Who are your guests, Gio?
My mom, my sister. The one who just got married. Y'all saw the pictures?
Have a good day.